Bless you. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Nice. Hi, how's the stomach? Oh, you mean the hernia? You mean the hernia? Amazing. Mario Brothers. It's fine. It's just annoying I can't really work out, for real. Interesting. Interesting here. It's okay. Okay, I have a couple videos I want to make. Couple videos for YouTube. My YouTube videos have been doing pretty good, so I want to make sure I keep the momentum on there. Get my Charlie Kirk reactions. Hi, Kate. Hi, Sims. Sim. Let me get this link posted to everything. Link posted to everything. Link posted to everything. Everything. Are you saying Trump is bad? Nah, never. Hot as balls in Phoenix. Crazy. Okay, I know Asmongold had a dumb video, which is good to react to. Maybe. Trump is building a new wall. LOL, haha. Watch out, Nazis. Apparently Asmongold is a top 10 most famous person in the world. So, nice. You FaceTime the one time that's unforgiven. What's up, Kyle? It is 9:45. It's 9:45 right now. Oh, man.
7.5 million U.S. businesses.
Or not?
I mean, is it because it has a heartbeat when...
Heartbeat.
Let your
Separation of church and state. Should we leave the USA? Good luck, buddy. Good luck leaving the USA. Good freaking luck. Oh no. Charlie Kirk and Riley Gaines.
Let your
Riley
patriotic
Gaines, bro,
values
she
guide-
is disgusting as a person, as a human being. She made her entire career about her competing against a trans person in a sport, and just like all people who make that their number one issue, whoever thinks that that's their number one issue, she just like hates trans people in general. So now she just goes after trans people in general. Charlie Kirk and Riley Gaines.
And why do you feel that you're not threatened with abortion policies? Like, I understand, you know, you feel a sense of vulnerability when participating with trans women or men, as you consider, in sports. Why do you feel that these policies and these, you know, concepts don't threaten you?
Because I think children are the greatest blessing life has to offer.
And if that's the case, why don't you think children are deserving of healthy environments? Like, honestly, can you confidently say that a woman who has a child who, you know, the child was conceived under circumstances that were, you know, not okay and very violent and, you know, I can't even imagine. How are you guaranteeing that this child is going to be happy and live a healthy life that's deserving?
Of course,
you know?
I can never guarantee the outcome of someone's life, but you know what's a whole lot worse than giving someone a chance is eliminating that chance altogether by ultimately terminating their life.
Are you eliminating that woman's chance of fulfilling her dreams and fulfilling her life? Like, you know, it's foster care systems aren't what they seem, or, you know, people, of course, have opinions of what's right to do after you have a child, or, you know, if you decide not to.
By the way, same people who want to make it illegal for gay couples to adopt. So they'd rather force a child into the world and then have it be in foster care, which is a really terrible system to be stuck in. They'd rather that kid be stuck there rather than go to a house that has gay parents. Okay, remember that as well. And also, a big argument for why being anti-choice hurts all women is because we hear stories all the time about women who need health care and they're pregnant and the doctor is scared to help them. It might be for life-saving treatment. It might be for just like pain reasons. It might be because a fetus is not viable, whatever it might be. The maternal death rate in red states like Texas, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, the chance a woman dies giving birth is going up so high because doctors are scared some random judge is going to put them in jail if they do their job. Really big point there. And by the way, really huge story, really crazy story this week. A woman in Georgia, I believe, a woman down south, she is dead. Okay, she is completely brain dead, but they are forcing her body to stay alive. There are tubes forcing blood through her body, forcing oxygen inside her, forcing nutrients inside her body, forcing her heart to beat, forcing everything about her physical body to stay alive. She is dead. She is brain dead. She will never be alive. The family is begging the state to take her off the life support machine. They're forcing her to try, not even her, but they're forcing her body, stealing her property rights to her body, forcing her body to stay alive to maintain this fetus. And there's no guarantee the fetus is going to be able to survive in a dead body that's only alive because of life support. And I think it would be like another 3 months before the fetus is viable. So in Georgia, this story, really pay attention to the story that's happening down south. Let me try to find the, okay, woman, abortion, life support. I'm sure it'll come up right away. I forget what state it is. It is Georgia. It is Georgia. So Georgia's abortion law is creating man-made horrors beyond our comprehension right now. It's really disgusting. Google it. Fetus of brain-dead Georgia woman kept alive due to abortion ban. Really insane, bro. Imagine, bro.
To have a child, but I have a friend who was
Your family member's dead body has tubes coursing all throughout it
in foster care, and
because they view her body as a human incubator, not really a woman, not really a person with her own property and body rights. They view women as incubators for children.
Experienced the most insane
for fetuses.
Situations that I can even imagine, and the fact that
No, keep on going. It's fine. It's just, I know all your arguments, but keep going.
you know, no, I really want to know, like not even to be like this, but woman to
All the arguments, bro. All the arguments. Charlie Kirk's argument. God said so. Haha, I win.
woman, Riley. How do you justify, you know, putting this almost shackle on women and kind of sitting there and saying, you know what, I don't care. You're gonna have this child, despite how, you know, painful.
I am so sorry that you are led to believe that children are shackles on your life. I would argue there are many parents here, mothers, fathers who are here who would not look at their children as shackles. Again, they would look at them as the greatest blessing life has to offer.
By the way, the argument is not about if children are bad or not. Okay, children can be fantastic. The argument is about should you force someone to lose the right of controlling their own body, as determined by the state, and lose the right to get medical health care a doctor deems necessary because the state creates a law where in blue and red states, the healthcare procedures a woman can get are different drastically. So we have women bleeding out and dying trying to get to blue states if they live in a red state. That is the conversation here. It's not just about like if you like children or not. Forcing people to have children is not good. Forcing people to do something with their body they don't want to continue with is not good. Okay, there's other ethical arguments here. So the idea of like shackling a woman or whatever else, that is not the argument at all. Okay, that might be someone's reason for getting an elective abortion. Okay, but that's not the ethical argument. That's not the safety argument. The questions that this woman is asking is really missing the overall point here.
Unfortunately, that's a position that you find yourself in, or someone finds themselves in, where they
Someone said, let me call you. I'm live streaming right now. Drop a like on the stream, hit subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a like, hit subscribe. I'll take your call after I watch this video. There's 2 minutes left.
I do see this child as a hindrance. You mentioned foster care. I think we, rather than, again, kind of normalizing and accepting and celebrating the idea of abortion, you work on foster care reform, the reform of the adoption system. I think those are much more beneficial and effective ways to ultimately address the problems that you're bringing to light without having to terminate lives in the process.
Why is there such a focus on kind of reprimanding women for their choice, but not a focus on making sure that foster care systems are what they should be? And, you know,
I think that's a national conversation that we could have. I do.
So why do you not think that's happening? Why do you think the focus is on women and their bodies?
It is happening. We actually.
It's about the, they're going to say it's about the baby. It's not about the woman's body.
Post more funding to foster care
right.
systems. You don't know about it. It's just like literally, Republican states are pumping more money into pregnancy. Do you know what a pregnancy crisis center is?
Yeah, Republican states, if you're a woman and you're pregnant, you die a lot more, okay? And your child dies a lot more. And you live a lot earlier a lot less years. You live a lot less long, okay? I can't find the words here because I'm a stupid liberal. But yeah, if you live in a red state in America, you live on average like 5 years shorter than if you live in a blue state, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, like a Planned Parenthood kind of ordeal, or what do you mean by that?
No.
It's just a question. I mean, I'm really learning. This is
How dare she
Pregnancy
ask
crisis
the
center is the
question?
pro-life equivalent, where you go there to actually have your baby be saved. And
Oh, okay.
they'll actually help the baby with diapers and with formula and food up to 5 years of life. And there are
very nice.
there's thousands of churches across the country that pump in hundreds of millions of dollars a year on that one specific.
Oh, and they also like guilt women bad. They make them watch videos of like an abortion and stuff like that. They guilt women and psychologically like torture them to try and get them to not get an abortion. It's kind of wild.
Specific thing.
I make sure I support causes that do as well, whether that is supplement companies. All the supplements I get, my vitamins.
Someone said pregnancy crisis centers have a history of bad medical practices. Well, they don't care about medical practices. They care about domination and control of women in this scenario. So like, or they care about their like dogmatic fundamentalist ideology. So it's not really a logical concern here.
That I take daily. I make sure I buy from a company that supports pro-life causes because it matters to me. When I say I'm pro-woman, I mean I am pro-woman wholeheartedly, entirely, all the way through, up and down. I am pro-woman. That means supporting women during their pregnancy, throughout their pregnancy, and after their pregnancy as well.
Okay, interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering.
She needs to watch better media, bro. She watches some bad liberals that don't give her the real facts. She probably watches like Rachel Maddow or something. Not really. I don't know what Rachel Maddow says, to be fair. But yeah, that's a really boring video. I'm going to post it anyway because it's good for clickbait and it's Charlie Kirk, so GG's. Even if you're a worthless Trump sexual hit like, yeah, drop a like. We have 9 likes right now. More likes, get more in the algorithm. More in the algorithm means more viewers, means more callers, if we do get callers. Yeah, we can get some callers. Oh, look at this guy. Listen to this guy.
Why can't bicycles stand up straight? Because they're too tired.
Nice. Thank you. Okay, feel free to call in if you want to call in. I don't know who's here. Thank you for the amazing joke, buddy. Just don't get pregnant. Just don't get pregnant. Actually, people should have the right to have sex without worrying about getting pregnant. And if they do get pregnant, they should be able to have an abortion if they want to. Within a reasonable number of weeks, which is not anything less than 15. College girl proves how morally lost people have become. Alright, no one's calling in, guys. GG's. College girl proves how morally lost people have become.
The world
Come
is
on,
waking
Charlie.
up to the power of gold.
The world's waking up to the power of gold, Charlie. Yes, make money off your fans. Make money off your fans,
You're
Charlie.
doing that too.
Yes.
I don't believe that we could use Christianity as a good moral basis for certain laws, considering that historically speaking, Christianity has committed many atrocities. I mean, the Christian Crusades killed many people, and they destroyed a lot of our written texts that didn't agree with Christian points, like, for example, the works of Sappho.
The works of what?
Sappho.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, anyways, I don't. So, and also, I understand that this is Catholicism, but also the schools in Canada that abused many Native American people.
Nope. Okay. Come on, callers. Come on, people. Please call. Here's someone, I think. I'm going to call you back since you called.
Hello?
Howdy, this is the YouTube thing. What's up?
Hey, yo, how you doing? I just scrolled past that shit. Am I live?
Yep, you're live.
Alrighty. Well, what's going on?
Nothing much right now. What about you?
No, just got off a day of work, just hanging out. Scrolled through this, said call in. I said, I'm a call in. I'm bored. So, what are we
Nice to
chatting
meet you,
about?
Colin. I don't know, whatever you want to talk about. I mean, I don't like giving topics anymore because if I give topics, I have to talk a lot, and there's too many things going on.
Alrighty. My number isn't out there or anything, is it?
Nope, you're all
Nope.
good.
Beautiful. Well, I don't know. You got to give me a topic to talk about, man. I can't just riff like I'm
Well,
not that good at that.
I think everything Trump has done this presidency has been bad. So pretty much anything.
Okay. Well, let's start from there. What's the worst thing?
Probably profiting off of the presidency more than any president in American history.
Ooh, how much has he profited?
So from the Trump coin so far, it's around $350 million in transaction fees alone. And then it's probably a couple billion in total transactions. And that's not counting the investments the Trump hotels got from. So Trump is leveraging the tariffs. He's using that to get Trump hotels built in different countries. The latest one is Vietnam. That was announced yesterday. Kind of like backroom deals he's using the presidency for.
Okay. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. That's not that great, What I would say to that is, let's see. So the Trump coin thing, I'm not too versed in that, but that would be a good starting point. Who started that? Did he himself start that? Period.
Yeah, I mean his businesses own it, so he's getting paid. His family's getting paid. So it's like, do you know how cryptocurrencies work generally?
To a point, yeah. Not way too into it, but a little bit about it, yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much it's like a fake market established around a coin, and for the Trump one, they call it a meme coin. So basically, anyone could buy into it. It's a scam, but it's whatever. I don't know.
So have people lost money or made money during this? I'm not a big fan of those like pump and dump things, but
well, yeah,
overall, have like people lost millions of dollars into this, or is it an actual sort of thing where you can invest into it?
No, 99.9% of the people lost money, and it's 100% for Trump to profit off of. It's like his own personal stock market to manipulate, and like there's no other case in American history of a higher level of corruption. Like we cannot bring one up. You can make examples of like stock trading that people think is suspicious, but there's never. I mean, we could try finding something in American history. I've had people call in. This is by far the biggest, and I don't. Yeah.
Alrighty, I'd have to look more into that, but I'll take your word for it. I'll believe it. Yeah. All right, let's see. So we got the Trump coin. That's no bueno. Let's see here. I'm not a fan of that.
That's good.
Yeah. I hope most people would be a fan of that. I can't read the chat. I don't really do. I don't have two monitors or anything along.
Don't read the chat. No one cares about YouTube Shorts chat.
All right, let's see. So that I can't get behind. What I could get behind with Trump, I would say, if anything, I think he is a strong president. I would say that. 100% he's not the best. I'm not going to say he's the best guy ever. He's done bad things. I would agree many presidents have done bad things. If that, like you said, is, the worst, case of fraud or whatever the heck it is, worst case of that, that's terrible. But I do think that overall he is doing some good stuff.
So like
would you be on board with saying that some things that he has done has benefited America for the better? That's what I
by by every bit of logical reasoning and every number we can look at, America is objectively in a much weaker position globally than it was when he took office by a huge amount. Like America, our favorability among free countries globally is crashing down, and our favorability among authoritarian dictatorships is like really rising. Our credit rating's going down as a nation.
So how do you measure that? How exactly do you measure that? That's what I would say.
So first off, before looking at numbers, Trump has trash talked the European Union. He said they're designed to destroy America. He's called Canada and Mexico enemies to the U.S. He said he wants to invade Greenland. He will not rule out military action with Greenland or Panama. So that really makes you more, it makes the countries look at you a little skeptically. He's refused to say Ukraine is the victim in the invasion of Russia. Well, no, but this is actually, so I'm starting off just saying like why people would hate America now. He refuses to say Putin's that guy. He likes Vladimir Putin a lot. And he refuses to say bad things about him. He wants to do business with Putin, and he kind of trash talks Ukraine all the time, which I think is pretty despicable. And yeah, the U.S. right now, our tourism is down like 20 to 30%. When it comes to other countries investing in America, the investments are down. Our manufacturing spending is down in America. Everything in America right now is slowing down.
Okay, so where are we getting these metrics from? So a lot of what you just said was kind of like skepticism, I would say. Like you said, a lot of people aren't looking bright, to America. They're seeing it this way. Well, where are we getting those metrics from? Number one.
Okay, so according to the World Travel and Tourism Council, we are going to lose around $15 billion in international traveler spending this year because international traveler confidence is at an all-time low for the United States. We have the world's largest market for travel and tourism, which contributed about $2.6 trillion to our economy last year. And because our decline, it's going to be a huge blow to the overall tourism sector, largely because countries don't really trust America. Another big change that's happening is European Union officials. They're now coming to America with burner phones, which is usually what you do if you go to China or Russia or countries that you cannot trust for espionage reasons. So there's a lot of distrust of the U.S. right now.
Gotcha. Well, there's always been a lot of distrust in the U.S. I know a lot of crack dealers that used to use burner phones. You can't trust them.
No, not like this. Never before with European Union. Definitely not. It's not even somewhat close. And I mean, the tariff war. We started a trade war with all of our allies, which made no sense. Also, so.
Well, how did that not make any sense?
Because we have a trade war with like Australia. For no reason. We have a trade surplus with Australia, and Australia and the U.S. have a trade deal that Trump organized, and we are tariffing them for some reason.
What about tariffs to other countries besides Australia?
We're tariffing every country globally, which also makes no sense.
Gotcha.
It's like a self-embargo.
Well, I mean, now I'm not a fucking expert on this or anything. However, I would say and you could correct me if I'm wrong, would putting tariffs on different countries by chance create more incentive to bring manufacturing back to the United States?
No, so like for businesses to make investments like that, they usually do like 10-year schedules or 5-year schedules. Factories take a long time to move. Supply chains do as well. A 10% tariff definitely would not make any change happen. They'd just find a way to import through other means, or they would just increase prices for a little bit. I mean, Trump's turned the tariffs on and off multiple times, so businesses can't even plan, which is why there's been a little bit of a paralysis in investing in America right now. That's why the stock market's going down, up and down every day.
Well,
it's stagnating.
It's not really going way too down. It's kind of staying the same,
Yeah, that's really bad. Because we're supposed to be like surging right now. Every other country is outperforming America.
Because every stock investor and broker is going to say one thing or another, and then if they just happen to be right that day, they're going to say I'm the best one in the, ever.
No, but like if you do price controls on different things,
obviously
if
you're going to put tariffs and you're going to impose huge economical turns, having stagnation might happen because there's never going to be a right or wrong answer. We don't know what the future holds. We're never going to know what the future holds.
Well,
so,
we could if there's actual policy
it's going down, but it is kind of stagnating right now.
Yeah,
Toyota,
that's really bad.
A huge car manufacturer. They actually have a bunch of actual manufacturers within the United States.
Yeah,
and so there's a lot I don't know. The tariff thing is kind of hit or miss with me. That one, I would be a little bit more on the, like I'd like to see where it goes. I don't necessarily think it's great. I don't necessarily think it's bad, but I think a lot of people are making a bigger deal of what it actually is because, I just think it's not way too crazy.
Yeah,
to do all
it's
that
because
stuff.
you
Especially when
like
you see
Trump.
the stock market, it's not going. Well, I don't necessarily, like I said at the start, I don't necessarily love him. I don't necessarily hate him.
Yeah, but you like
But to
him
say that,
because I mean, you don't really have a strong opinion. You don't know enough to have an opinion, and like I do, and it's really bad. There's no if you can find one economist that says these tariffs are good, whether conservative, Marxist, liberal, fascist, whatever.
I
Every
don't know a lot of
economist.
economists, I guess you could say.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can look up information about tariffs. So, like, one big thing about this is like I said, these are 10-year investments if you want factories to come back to America. Trump has been using these to just like get leverage, to get donations, and to get like pretty much pay for play deals from countries and different companies. And if you pay Trump, you get some type of exemption. It's like a mafia boss kind of deal.
So there's absolutely no other benefit to tariffing a little bit harder on other countries than
As
just to get
currently
money in the
applied,
quick term.
yeah, no,
So
there's no
they're
benefit at all to what Trump is doing right now.
unless the 10-year thing, like you said, unless we keep doing it for 10 years and then we might actually see some.
Well,
effects.
not keep doing it. We need a policy by Congress that says here's our economic plan for the next 10 years. We would need an actual policy, not just the president who switches the tariff rate every day.
Yeah.
And also, it's
No, I
ripe
see
for
it.
corruption too, because tariffs. Our founding fathers in the Declaration of Independence actually warned about this. There's a reason in our Constitution. So taxation powers are with Congress. But there's national emergency law, which gives the president an ability to use tariffs for different national emergency reasons. So like there's a reason our founding fathers did not want the king to have an ability to do tariffs or taxes because their king used tariffs and everything. Like the tea tax was like pretty much a tariff that the Boston Tea Party was about, and the fact that the taxes are being done by the president, the biggest tax increase since the 1960s. Like I think Trump's basically a commie at this point if he's going to be doing that stuff,
So the tax on tea back in the day, that was a tariff. That wasn't a tax.
It was an import tax.
So it was a tax.
Yeah, a tariff is a tax.
Yes. So it wasn't a tariff.
It was a tariff.
It wasn't
a tariff is a
imposed by
tax.
the U.S. government, or it wasn't imposed by the 13 colonies at that point. So
At that point, it was
tariff.
imposed by the king without representation. It was taxation without representation. So it was technically still taxes. It's a similar mechanism. Okay.
So it wasn't. I don't know.
It's the same exact concept. I mean, tariffs and taxes are the same word. Tariffs just mean import taxes. So I mean.
Yes, and it's the same word, but they have completely different meanings. I don't know.
Completely different meaning. How do they don't have completely different meanings? Tariffs are a tax. You think tariffs are not a tax?
So is an import and an export the same thing? Because it's just goods going to a different country.
No, like it's a tax we pay when we import things, right? Tariffs are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, hope it goes well. Okay, someone else call in. That guy is cooked. How do you crap. This is why, please drop a like on the stream, get me some more callers. Please drop a like. This is exactly why elections go how they do. Because voters have no clue what's going on and they probably just vote based off of like a Joe Rogan podcast. So reaching them is hard. Hello.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Howdy.
Is this the person on live right now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, before I start talking, I'm gonna tell you, something. I'm only 14, to let you know. So I don't know everything, obviously.
Okay, we'll
to
keep
let
the
you know
topics
after.
light. I'll answer your questions like a Q&A if you have questions, okay?
All right, I have some things just to say real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay, good. Gotta cut that one out. Can't trust that one, but brother. Hi, this is
Hello?
the YouTube thing. What's up?
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're decent. You seem a little far away, but it's not. I mean, I can hear you a little
Sorry,
bit.
it's an apartment building. It's old. I'd like to touch on something earlier when you were showing that the Charlie Kirk clips were, talking about abortion and stuff. Well, a lot of women seem to think that they're the ones that create life. What they don't really understand, especially these young ones, men create the life. They incubate it and they carry it. Then they give birth. Yes, they have a big role in it, and but they do not have the right, just because they're pissed off at the world or they're mad at their boyfriend or whatever, to go and kill the baby because it's their body. Once they create that life, they no longer have a choice. It's murder.
So who creates life?
Men.
So it's men's fault if a woman gets pregnant.
It's both of them's fault.
No. You said men create life, so it's men's fault if a woman gets pregnant, right? If men create life.
No.
Well, you said men create life. If men create life.
God, well, see, here's the thing. Men are put on this earth to procreate. A man is hardwired. You put a man in a room, say like a high school stadium, and you fill it up with men and women. Out of 100% of women in there, each man that's in there is hardwired from the get-go. It's how we're created, to want to procreate with either all of them or as many of them as we can. It's how we're hardwired. Just like
Yeah, so it's
a
man's responsibility if he gets someone pregnant, so we should regulate the man then, right? If he does the life, so we should regulate him probably.
If the man gets a woman pregnant, okay, all right, he did that, but it does not give her the right to kill the baby just because she laid down with him. She did not have to have sex with him.
No, but he did not have to have sex with her. So I mean, if that happens, I mean, to be honest, I'd probably say the man should go to prison if the woman has an abortion, because the man creates life. So.
Yeah, and I think that also that if a woman gets pregnant by the man, because I know what I said and I stand by it, then she has the obligation. If she doesn't want to keep the child, that's fine. Give it to the father when she gives birth to it, or give it up for adoption. But to kill the baby, an innocent human being that's done nothing wrong to anybody, like when your parents got pregnant with me and you, we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't ask for this. It's not our fault.
I wasn't a person though. I was not a person when I was a fetus. I was a person once I got a brain, but not when I was a fetus.
Up until a certain point, I'll accept that argument. But once you get a brain, or let me put it to you like this: once you start showing signs of human development, like say feet or hands or whatever, it stops being what the young people want to say.
Why do feet or hands matter? Why do feet or hands matter?
Because, all right, it matters because that lets you know, hey, that's not a clump of cells anymore.
What if there's no feet or hands?
You're still creating life in there. Just because it's not taking human form yet does not mean it's not viable and valuable.
What if you're born with no feet or hands?
See, I know where you're going with this, and I'll play along. Sure, you got no feet and hands. All right, you're still alive. Prosthetic hands, prosthetic feet. You can still learn to walk, and you can still learn with technology nowadays. You can still learn to work your prosthetic hands and lead a productive life.
No, not for that reason. I was just asking because you said that's how you know if it's a person or not. So if someone has no arms or legs, they're probably not a person under your definition.
No, it's not a definition. It's just a fact. When a man and a woman have sex, and a man does get a woman pregnant, once that happens, at conception, it becomes a life. It even says so in the Bible. And also, women also need to understand this. I was old enough to remember the original women's lib movement, the feminist movement, and it had nothing to do with what's going on nowadays with the way women are acting. Women weren't sitting there screaming, "Oh, we're the ones, and men are lower than us. We're the top ones, and men are blah 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 blah," all that bullshit. No, what it was, they just wanted a chance to be heard. They wanted to be seen. They wanted to be recognized. They wanted to be acknowledged. They wanted the right, if they chose to leave the house, to go out and be a fireman, a police officer, join the military, get a job at a grocery store, be a receptionist, whatever. They just wanted the opportunity and the chance to at least try that. And then it's got bastardized even now. Gloria Steinem and Judy and all of them would be rolling over in their graves right now.
Why do you think laws should mimic the Bible and Christianity?
Say it one more time. You broke up a little bit.
Why do you think our laws should be like Christianity and the Christian Bible? Why not any other religion?
Because no other religion would, it doesn't matter. You're talking about America, so we believe in the Bible. So going by that, our laws, our whole infrastructure on the entire planet, especially here in America, was based upon the Ten Commandments. That's how our laws, and that's how we govern ourselves.
Even non-Christian cultures know it's bad to murder people and steal from people. Even non-Christian cultures respect their parents. I'd say, like, for example, in India, every single culture respects, or in Asia in general, they respect their parents much more than we do in America. So loving thy father and thy mother, or thy mother and thy father, all these different values are shared from different religions. I want to know why Christianity is the number one that all of us are forced to follow.
Well, I've never known it to be forced on anybody. I mean, it's encouraged, but...
Well, your abortion laws that you want are from your Bible, and you want to put your religious dogma onto other people.
No, I'm not forcing anything. What I'm saying is people who are rational and intelligent or even have, some common sense to them. Basic common sense goes a lot further than intelligence, believe it or not, in some respects. What I'm saying is most people with common sense and know how to read can read the Bible. And in that Bible, if you read the Ten Commandments, everything that you're supposed to know and how you're supposed to live according to God is right there. Whether or not you do it, and that goes for me, you, and the people in the chat, whether or not we do that, that's our choice. Again, free will.
No, but like the question is like, why should we live in a Christian nation when we have some separation between, we have religious freedom, the Quaker ideology. I live in Pennsylvania. We care a lot about that. I just don't like the idea, the abortion laws you want in America is more like Saudi Arabia, than it is another free country. So you want like Saudi Arabia's laws for women in America, and I don't want to be like Saudi Arabia, but you do, and it really makes me uncomfortable that you want to bring Afghanistan to America and Iran to America.
We don't.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. They have the same abortion laws that conservatives want in America. You agree with them 100%, and death penalty too. So.
Well, I just don't think that a woman should just willy-nilly because, oh no, she got pregnant, mom and dad are getting mad, or oh, I'm pissed off because I found out my boyfriend cheated, or my husband did something that I just don't like.
It should not be your decision through government to limit her freedom to control what is done by her body. It should not be your authority to use the government to suppress others' freedoms. That's the thing. Like it doesn't matter what the reason is at a certain point. You can make an argument for like when it should be like a cutoff time for elective abortions, which I'd say around 20 weeks. But like in general, I don't want the government policing people's personal decisions here.
It shouldn't be the government. It should be each individual state and city.
Well, that is the government, right? That is the government. So if you live in, states are pretty big. States are bigger than European countries.
Well, you're exactly right, but here's the thing. Go back and read in Genesis. And don't try to get me to read the exact quote or where it's at, but in the early paragraphs of Genesis, and we all know the stories. If we all went to Sunday school or had any religious people in our family, we all know the story. God put Adam to sleep. He removed a rib and created Eve. But what a lot of people don't understand is, if they read it, it'll explain it to you. Eve was created from his rib. In other words, She was created to be his helpmate, not his equal.
Do you eat shellfish? Like, do you follow those rules in the Old Testament? Like, why do you cite the Old Testament if you believe in Jesus Christ? Why do you not say what Jesus said? Is it because Jesus, you know, Jesus never said anything about this, right? So you probably can't really cite Jesus. You have to cite the Hebrew Bible.
I'm quoting Genesis from the King James Version.
Yeah, so you have to cite certain parts of the Bible you want to agree with and you want to put on other people, but like if you eat shellfish or if you eat like pork or if you like you're messing up, dude. You gotta follow every rule to the Bible. If you're gonna be doing that, we should kill people for not eating. If you eat shrimp, you should die, basically.
Again, it goes back to what I said about 2 minutes ago. Free will. It's all about free will. If it's laid out in front of you, no matter what it is, food, money, whatever. Okay, it's right there in front of you. It's a temptation. It's right there. You're not, you know, is it wrong or is it right to take it? That's a moral dilemma that only you can have with yourself and figure out. If you take it, you take it. If you walk away from it, you walk away from it. It's like Schrodinger's cat. You got a cat in a box with a vial of poison. Until you open that box, you don't know if it's alive or dead, so there's a 50-50
But the
chance.
thing is that women should be able to make these decisions and not have the government involved. And also, another big issue is doctors who are trying to give women health care are restricted because these Christian fundamentalist laws in these states are telling doctors they might go to jail for murder if they give the women health care that they need to not be infected and die from a failed pregnancy or something.
Well, that's true, and that part I don't agree with. See,
well, that's what the laws do, man.
Yes, just because I agree with certain things. See, I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I'm not independent. I choose no party because of this reason. When I vote, I don't care if he or she's the popular person and everybody loves this person. I don't care two bits about that. What I care about is that person's policies and what they want to do as president of the United States of America. That's what I care about. And all I've ever said to people is it doesn't matter what branch you're with or what denomination you're with, Democrat, whatever, whoever you vote for, make sure you look into every candidate, everything. Look in and check out the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent, all of it. Don't just focus in on he said this 30 years ago, or she made this comment 6 months ago.
No, okay, respectfully, we're talking about women dying right now because of these Republican laws.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm
no, but the issue is like women are dying.
You.
Do you know the story about the woman in Georgia that I talked about where she's dead and they're keeping her body alive with tubes and the fetus is probably going to die anyway? Like, that is what we're talking about. And people who are letting that happen, you're letting a Saudi Arabia.
If a woman gets pregnant and that pregnancy is going to cause her life, it's going to take her life or the baby's life or both, then sure, abort the fetus because it's going to die regardless. And whether you let it live or you abort it, it's going to die before it's born or in birth. Okay, I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm pro-abortion about every single thing. I'm just saying I don't choose one mindset and roll with it. I don't do that. I see the wrong in every bit of all sides. I see wrong in the Democrats, Republicans, Whig, all parties. I see right and wrong in all of them. I see corruption in every bit of it. Trump's not a perfect president. He's going to screw up. Whether or not he's done it yet or he's going to remains to be seen. It's all about public perception. If a Democrat thinks he's screwed up, then in their head he's screwed up. If a Republican thinks he's the second coming, then he's the second coming. It's all about perception and thought and own personal thought.
Yeah, okay. I would just say when you're voting for laws and bad things happen to people, take some ownership in the ideology that you vote for. But yeah, thanks for the call. Hope you have a great night. I gotta move on though. Okay, someone. These calls don't go nowhere. Out here yapping, dude. Yapster. The person said, "Hey, this is that 14-year-old got cold feet. I want you to know I'm 14. Don't know many things. I'm Republican, but I do support some of the things Democrats say. I just do not support the LGBTQ though, as my religion says not to." Actually, if you're talking about Christianity, look up the words of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ would go to every person, regardless of their standing in society. Those who are cast aside by everyone in society, and reach out to them. I promise you, you cannot find one thing Jesus said in the Bible, that would be anti-gay. Promise you.
Call from
If you
Eric.
look, and make sure Jesus said it. By the way, look up
To
something
accept,
Jesus said
press
that's
1.
anti-gay. I
To send a
promise you,
voicemail,
you cannot
press
find it. Hello, what's up?
Hey, man, you said you're having problems with callers?
Oh no, yeah, people don't call in anymore.
Well, I heard they were calling in. I just heard your frustration with them.
Yeah, there's some some people just yap about different things. It's tough
Oh
to
my
find
God!
good
Imagine
conversations.
the gall, the absolute gall and hubris of those people. So, let me ask you a hypothetical here, because no one's hit on this point, and I kind of want to go to something else, but to close out this abortion thing, because I'm kind of like, with it. A woman's on the way to an abortion clinic to have an abortion. On the way, she's mugged, assaulted, shot, killed, and of course the baby dies. The person doing the shooting is charged with a double homicide. Is it murder?
You would need to have it be consistent with whatever the laws are. So under the definition of like when we give personhood for like during the pregnancy, it would depend on how far along it was.
So the answer would be if the law that is regarding, let's say, a potential pregnant double homicide, you're kind of thinking they should maybe coincide with how they frame abortion law then? If they're willing to charge for one, just because because here's part of the problem. I see there's a double standard where we can call something murder in one case if a pregnant woman gets, stabbed, shot, whatever, horrible thing, versus the so-called elective nature of the, I'm going to say murder. I think it's murder. I can further extrapolate on that. But
someone said in the chat it would need to be if the mother wants it or not. We can't do that legally. If we want it to be pro-choice, it would need to go by the same definition as if we considered a fetus to be a person, whatever limit that would be. Because if we just say it's because she wants it or not, that's really hard to adjudicate in court, and that would create legal loopholes when it comes to like the freedom for a woman to choose. And also, I would say if this happened to a woman, a pregnant woman, the amount of years this person is going to serve in jail and the brutality of doing this to a pregnant woman is going to increase their sentence. I guarantee it. Regardless, they're going to suffer. But the actual like charges aren't going to change. But it'll still be a singular homicide. But we need to be consistent legally. We would not be able to say like, oh, she wanted it or not. That'd be too hard of a thing to adjudicate.
Right, and that's part of the issue I'm seeing is because you're in a position like when you see this, and pregnant women do get killed. You see these Lifetime movies and stuff. It happens, and they nailed the guy in a double homicide. So the question is, why is it considered murder in that situation? And like you said. It kind of depends on probably viability, stuff like this. Would you agree viability is probably the biggest one?
Yeah, I think in terms of murder, because then in like Republican states, there's the whole thing where women who are pregnant will drive in the lanes that are reserved for multiple passengers, and they'll say, well, I'm pregnant. And I think a woman won a court case over that because the state considers a brand new fetus to be a person, right? I forget what state that was.
It depends.
The carpool lane.
And I'm not going. That's a whole other conversation, and that's where it gets tricky. But I think some of the nuance needs to come in, and with how we're already looking at the law. And I don't think the law is necessarily always perfect or good or just or any of those things. But the very fact that we have people who have been charged for double homicides in these situations should tell us that the courts already do consider it a life. And you kind of have to blame the Supreme Court in a way also, not for kicking it down to the states, because that is where the law should reside. The problem is that the federal government needs to determine, that's not a word, but determine what is constituent for life. Like
Well,
come
if it's
down
like,
to the
but
actual
usually these will be at the
definition.
state level. So like at the state level, it'll be whatever jurisdiction that's in. So.
No. I'm saying that for having an abortion, yes, that needs to be at state level. But at a federal level, you could dictate, I think. I don't think it would go against any law just to describe what the definition of life is. Or make a statement. We believe as Americans under law, make a flat thing and say, this is kind of the standard for it, and then if a state wants to go against it, perhaps, and then you can have a legal wrangle that way, maybe. But the starting point needs to be with the hypothetical I set up. So anyway, that's kind of my point on that, just to kind of kick the conversation along a bit.
Yeah, it's really. I know many different people have, different arguments on this, and the truth is, legally, for people who are pro-choice, you can't really have it both ways, and to say like the mother intended to bring the child into the world, because then, like I said, we're talking about viability of the fetus, and that'll be consistent throughout all the rulings in that state. So it's gonna be, it's too difficult for people to choose like exactly what they want policy-wise. So
it's a difficult thing. So to kind of shift topics so it's not so boring for you. What do you make of the Biden cancer thing?
What I make of it, I don't really. I mean, I think the way they're talking about it as the number one story when there's much more important things going on is insane. Him running again was insane. Sucks that he has cancer, of course. I know it's not normal to test for the prostate-specific antigens that you could detect it with above the age of 70, so it actually is not normal to test for it at that age. But yeah, he obviously did look really weak and frail, so I'm not really surprised.
Do you think there's any legitimate claim based upon your side of things? Because I know where this other side is going, but I'm just to get feedback. How the very nature that there has been a medical lie in place, foreseeably, let's say hypothetically even, based upon, like you said, the ability for this to be rapid onset, how there's some timing questions involved with this. Just to be fair, do you think it would be legitimate to look into that to see if the medical issues that he was undermined any sense of the fundamental flow of how government works? And that was a lot more words than it needed to be.
If there was evidence of government not working effectively, the government worked fine under Biden, but the head of state part where you needed like a leader to be like a strong leader to be
falling asleep and all that stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff went really bad.
Okay,
But Biden's administration was probably one of the best governments globally, coming off of the pandemic. One of the first ever soft landings after such an economic detrimental economic time.
A virulent attack by a foreign nation, but go ahead.
Well, no, there's evidence that could be from America too. We don't know.
I have heard that theory, and I'll even let you humor that one.
If it's an attack on America, I think it'd be a lot worse than what it was, by the way. And I don't think they would have done it to themselves. But
fair point. I mean, that's a fair point.
I thought it was a cold.
I'll give you that.
How is it attack on America if it was just a cold? Like, come on.
Well, it was just a cold.
Okay, well, that's really, really bad attack. Then they must really suck at making viruses.
I don't know if it's so much, but really quick, I don't know if it's so much about the virus as it is what they did as a result of said virus.
I mean,
the ability
looking at
to
state
do
by state
lockdowns.
law, state by state law, Republican and Democrats both did lockdowns, and they were pretty reasonable. In Pennsylvania, they were just like, they were completely
people
reasonable.
away from their families as they were dying.
Yeah, in some places. Okay, so you can say some areas had bad policies, but in terms of the totality of lockdowns, they were very reasonable. Now, if you want to say about like New York with Cuomo and stuff like that, we could have conversations about that for sure. But like in terms of having lockdowns in general, you do not need to agree with how they were done, but you can agree that they were like legally viable and also necessary for the start of the pandemic when the medical capacity was overblown.
And what did
overfull.
What did they actually help with? Anything? And you're going to say slow the spread? Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah. Objectively, yes, our medical systems were becoming overwhelmed. In New York City, they had refrigerator trucks for bodies and other areas of the...
Oh, come on. Everyone knows that one's made up. The refrigerator, the landfills of the dead.
No, I know people who were doctors in New York at the time. I know people who were doctors there. Multiple doctors died by suicide.
In hallways?
Just because you have the brain of a 8-year-old who's addicted to Adderall on TikTok. No, seriously though. Okay, because right now you're talking like someone who just learns off of social media. You're not schooling me.
No, I'm not
you're quoting your Facebook feed.
I'm
talking about real facts and policy.
No,
you're actually going over me. Yeah, because you're talking about your time. You're talking about your feed. Talking about your feed right now, where you saw the TikTok video of nurses dancing, taking a 10-second break from a period where they were suicidal. TikToks. Yeah, how do they have a lunch break? Holy crap, they have a lunch break. How dare they dance off a freaking terrible time?
They all of a sudden, because
and by the way, I don't think you should judge nurses for dancing when they were confronting it directly. When you think it's the biggest form of tyranny in the world that you couldn't go to McDonald's for a month, like the fact you think you're pampered as shit if you think that's the biggest issue in the world ever, and government overreach.
I'm not saying it's the biggest issue in the world.
I'm just saying the fact you even brought it up right now in this conversation is so pussy. It's so pussy. Who gives a shit?
It's kind of a
come on,
derivative of the COVID thing, and then trying to talk about lockdowns, and then as a result of, is Joe Biden even an actual legitimate leader at some point because of who was filling out certain forms, who was in charge at certain points, what medications has he been on, has he ever been in a position where he was in not control of his faculties? What happened with that, and who knew? Who helped facilitate that?
I also want to know about the facilitation of Trump right now as well. His doctor has no medical license, and he says Trump is 6'3" and like 230, and Trump is definitely 5'10", which is a big lie. Like that's really like Trump is definitely 5'10".
The goalposts now. I mean,
I'm not switching the goalposts. We have back-to-back presidents who are too old and not all there mentally. Trump looks just as bad as Biden did. If you hear Trump talk, they literally they hand him executive orders. When they ask Trump about a policy question, he says, "Oh, I don't know. Yes, you got to ask my lawyers." Like Trump does not answer a question at all. He just talks about he does a stand-up routine.
No, he answers tons of questions. Did you see the bomb he dropped on South Africa today? That was hilarious.
Oh, the fake images of the memorial sites in South Africa.
Saying, so the South African genocide is fake, doctored images.
Oh, yeah, it is fake according to the facts there. No, those are pictures of other things like memorial sites in South Africa. Every court, every single ruling, the actual people that came with the South African president, they all verified. They said there's no genocide in South Africa, even if they think there's discriminatory laws, which would be hard to prove. There's definitely no genocide there. You use the word genocide more than leftists do. Like it's so pathetic what MAGA's turned into. You're the most pussy woke bastards in the world now. It's so sad. No, it really is so sad. You cry about literally everything. It's so sad. I missed the SJW snowflakes. I missed the snowflakes. I'd rather talk about super pronouns than talk about this bullshit, bro. You're making up genocides now because you want to be mad about white people come to America?
Like what? So
holy crap.
Okay, who gets to declare what a genocide is?
Me.
Why do you get to declare?
Probably the courts in South Africa. The idea that no other country globally is even talking about
years,
this.
By the way,
the fact that a high percentage of the farmers that died were black farmers as well. So the idea that it's focused on white farmers is super stupid.
Why are they saying kill the boar?
You know that video that you saw on social media because you learned from social media, like I said before, 8-year-old who's addicted to Adderall. Yeah, you saw the one video. You saw the video of them chanting, right? You saw the video of them chanting in the arena, right?
That's one of them, yeah.
Oh, I know the video because that's a radical alt-right party there that's not electorally viable at all. That's one party there that's extreme that has no chance of ever being in government because they're whack. They're wackos. The actual government there is not them.
And they have nothing to do.
But you just saw black people chanting and assumed it was the South African government. It's so sad, bro. Do something more than just Google TikToks.
Wow, this is how you talk? Is this how you think you're going to get in?
Yeah, because you gotta grow up. You gotta catch up. You're gonna be on Medicare before you learn how to think. It's sad.
I actually already am, so that's fine.
Oh
Whatever.
No, we gotta take that shit away. Good thing we're gonna be cutting it. I hope you missed the cuts, man. I hope you keep it.
Oh no, because I'm not some foreign trash invader who's come in illegally.
Foreign trash invader.
Oh
yeah.
Foreign trash invader.
Foreign trash invader.
Isn't your show more interesting now when you have someone who can actually come back and talk to you instead of stutter over themselves and can actually push back?
You are saying things. Indeed,
I
you
am
are saying
lots of things and lots of true things and lots of good pondering
lots
questions
of fake
that people
things, yes.
probably
Pondering
have.
questions.
And your show's obviously more
Schizophrenia is not pondering questions. I hope you get help. Okay.
Oh wow, more projecting and gaslighting. This
Yes,
is so
projecting and
perspective.
gaslighting. You
This is
literally sound like a TikTok kid. You are a TikTok MAGA
a
Medicare freak.
TikTok kid. That's
Yes, you
actually
do
a
sound like a TikTok
psychological
kid. You're
term of
using,
someone who's
you're,
fooling
yeah,
you
you're
because
using
you're
the
so
same
weak in your
words that
opinion
like a
that
12-year-old
you have
coming
to
in that just
bring
learned
it
about
down to a
communism.
lower
You
level
literally sound like a
because I
kid
can
that
keep
just learned what
talking over
communism
you
is, and
because
now
you're
you think you're
acting like a
purity.
basic bitch.
You're doing political purity tests. Like, come on, dude.
No, I'm not
Bring up
being
some
a
actual
political
facts.
purity test. I'm saying you're being a huge fucking
And there's a
bitch.
genocide in South Africa. Why did all the Afrikaner refugees look like they escaped from a golden corral?
Because they have nice clothes? Because they
No,
put
because they're
something on? So the only definition
yeah, yes, it was the clothes.
definition of
Yeah.
a refugee is someone who's wearing rags and
No,
doesn't
okay,
have to
no,
go
but there's a
shop at
genocide.
Ross.
There's a genocide
Ross looks like
happening. No,
Beirut.
there's a genocide happening. Genocides are really
What about
big deals,
Gaza?
by the way.
Let me ask you, leftist, is Gaza genocide?
I say it's a violent occupation, and Israel's current government is genocidal. I don't know if I classify it as a genocide yet legally, so I don't use the word.
Okay, but you're hedging that one. Why you're hedging that one? Why are you hedging that one? Why are you allowing
Because
that
no
one
courts,
to dance?
because no courts or international bodies ruled on genocide yet, but they did rule that like Netanyahu was a war criminal, for example. So I'd go off of
Okay,
that.
and they ruled George Bush a war criminal too, and I honestly wish
Yep.
they'd go
Yes,
after
sir.
Obama for killing that kid. As
Go
part
after
of,
Trump too. Go after Trump too, brother. Go after
Hey,
Trump,
look,
right? Yeah, Trump's war criminal
I have
too.
no problem with that. I have no problem with that when there is a legit war crime and it's an American citizen targeted. I get that. But we have problems with that, and I'm willing to dance with you. But because you keep going to that low bar, man.
No, it's just like if you think there's a genocide in South Africa, you are just like so brain
Do you
poisoned.
think? Well,
you're internet
you're
poisoned.
saying you're not even sure. So why are you saying there's not one in this?
Okay,
case,
I know
but
for
you're
a fact. No, I know for a fact there's not one in South Africa. The reason I said this about Gaza is because it's still teetering on the edges of it. It might be if Israel completes their plans of their full ethnic cleansing and they prevent anyone from leaving as well. So ethnic cleansing is a term we could probably use because they're planning on moving 1 million Palestinians out of Gaza. So that's a term we can use there. But for South Africa, there's literally, I mean, I know right wingers are paranoid, but this is insane.
It's not a paranoia thing. This is a story. Now, I understand you're limited, and we might be limited to our spheres, and that's fine. But you're telling me that in the left-wing sphere for the past, excuse me, we're talking a few years ago, that they have been talking about this story. This isn't a story that just ignited overnight. There have been calls going back to Trump's first administration to help the South African farmers because of the actions being taken by the South African government, at least in the defense, at least in the acknowledgement, lack of looking the other way of what was happening to the farmers. Specifically being
Donald
targeted.
Trump gave $5 million to Ashley Babbitt too, so I don't really trust their track record.
Well, yeah, but she got murdered by a Capitol employee for what?
She was charging them.
Not charging.
Yes, she was. She jumped me through the window.
No,
she jumped me through the window.
No,
there is
she was not
justification for
jumping
murder.
through the
Okay, wait.
window.
Do you think George Floyd was murdered?
No.
Okay, how not? How is that not a murder? How is that a justified killing?
He had criminal amounts of fentanyl in his system.
Oh, but the medical examiners
it?
talked about
Speedball?
actual. Okay, do you know how fentanyl deaths happen though? Do you think it's screaming or do you think it's other ways?
I think it was that what's his name? The cop who got wrongfully put in jail, and yes, I said that too. Wrongfully put in jail was at the scene secondary. He wasn't even dealing with Floyd initially when
Okay,
Floyd
so for
initially
the
was,
conversation
screaming in his car.
about George Floyd, okay, you could say he was having a panic attack for sure, but the
Yeah,
idea
he
of
couldn't-
Chauvin,
he
I'm
was
sure you don't
having a
know about this
panic
case.
attack in
You
the
learn from
car.
TikTok. You learn from TikTok.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so when it comes to Chauvin and
I don't like TikTok.
his
My
knee
girlfriend can attest to that.
his knee on George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes. 5 of those minutes he was fully
Yeah,
unconscious.
a sanctioned police
it's completely
maneuver, and then we
unconscious.
can talk about if police maneuvers are legitimate, and that would be a legitimate.
It's not a police maneuver. The
topic.
people that
It
trained
is a
Chauvin
police
came to the
maneuver. It
courtroom.
is
The
a
people that
proper
trained him
training
came
thing.
and said how it wasn't proper,
Do
especially
you
because he was
honestly
unconscious
think
for
that
5 minutes.
anyone was going
Do you
to
realize?
not
Do you realize?
find
Do you
him
realize that
guilty in
if?
the
Do you realize that if
political environment we
Chauvin?
currently
Do
find
you
ourselves
realize
in?
that if? Do you realize if Chauvin did not stay on his neck for the 5 minutes he was unconscious, it would not have gone the way it was. But anyways, Babbitt
That's the
storming.
ESPN thing. How is he
Babbitt,
supposed to
Babbitt,
know? He's
Ashley
doing stuff.
Babbitt involved in storming the Capitol. Still was storming the Capitol. Was jumping through a
Peaceable
window.
assembly where the police let people around.
Her jumping through a window. Her jumping through broken
She never
windows. Oh yeah. Okay.
penetrated
How was the
that
window
window.
broken?
She
How
never
was the
went
window
through it.
broken?
Why are you talking over me? I can keep doing it too.
She
Obviously,
was going
I can keep doing
to.
it too.
She was.
She was
They were
not
all assaulting
through the
officers.
window, so
The
quit
people at that point
lying.
were assaulting
You're a
officers.
liar.
That's not
You're
lying
a
at all.
liar.
The
You're a
idea that you
liar.
think that George Floyd's killing was justified and Ashley Babbitt's was not
I never
is so
said
insane.
it was
Why do you?
justified.
Okay,
Quit
why
putting
are
words
there
in
no
my mouth.
settlements?
You like
Why are
putting
there?
things
Why
in
is there?
people's mouths?
Why is there
Is
no
that what you
benefit
like
package?
doing?
Why is there no
Oh,
benefit
really?
package for the Capitol Police officers that day? Why did Ashley
What?
Babbitt get
What?
benefits, but the
What?
Capitol
What?
Police officers? I know you don't like our law enforcement, but I do.
No,
So
I don't
you know,
like law enforcement.
you
to
hate
be
law
honest.
enforcement.
Not really.
Yeah, I know you hate law enforcement. Yes,
So
I know.
what?
But for the police officers that day that were defending our democracy,
They weren't
she did
defending
charge them. Yep.
democracy. We don't live in a democracy.
Yeah,
We
you're a
live in
cop hater. Oh,
constitutional
you're a whiny.
republic
You're a
that's
whiny.
currently
That's a form of
failing. I'm not
democracy, you
lying. You're a
dumbass.
liar. Why are
You
you
have the
lying?
IQ
You
of
keep
a
talking.
toad.
Why do you talk?
You have the IQ of a
Why are you
dumb
talking?
toad. You have an IQ of a toad that's blind and deaf and never
Wow,
can't
keep
even read.
insulting me. I haven't insulted. I mean, I could go low. I mean, I could, but I'd be bored. I mean, I'm rather just school
I'd
you
be
on
bored.
this thing.
I'd rather
bored
just
myself.
lie and say things that are not true. And you actually, yeah,
No,
you do
I've
hate
said
cops
everything
anyway.
is true. I'm
I love our
telling you
law
what you're
enforcement.
wrong
Thank you for
about
keeping us
because
safe,
I'm
law enforcement.
entertained, and right
This
now
is
I'm
MAGA.
ignoring my girlfriend because of this, because it's kind of funny.
Well, I'm sure. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that. Okay, have a good night, man. I was gonna make a cuck joke. I'm not gonna do that. Who's this guy? Someone said, "Hey, man, can we have a debate over text?" Yes, that's my. Yes, that is the show. Let's have a debate over text. Thank you. Who's this guy? Okay, I'll call this guy back.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah, I seen you on the video, Blow Joe.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, bro? Truck driver here. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
It's a little rattly, but I could hear you.
Man, hey, I'm glad you get that other caller. Yeah, he was mad crazy. So yeah, get him out of there.
Yeah, he's kind of going off, huh? I mean, he was saying how he hated law enforcement too. I'm like, holy crap, this guy's going off.
Bro, you know, I'm a former Marine and everything like that, so not saying that I'm a Democrat or a Republican. And if I had to choose, I would say I would be a Republican, but not a Trump Republican. I'm talking about John McCain. Back when the Republican Party was a Republican Party, respected.
Yeah.
But you know, where we're at right now is it's just crazy. Like I said, I'm a constitutionalist. You know, I defended my country on the principles of the Constitution. So everything I see what's going on right now that Trump is doing, you know, talking about moving the goalposts.
Well, I've never heard
man,
I've never heard anyone, Democrat, Republican, anyone talk about suspending the Fifth Amendment. Like suspending habeas corpus is insane. That's the right for all of us to see a judge before the government can just detain us and do whatever they want with us. And they want to suspend that? It's insane.
Bro, we haven't heard any of this. None of this ever. So I mean, the fact that it's coming from a con man, I'm sorry, not a con, well, he is a con man, but a convicted con man, someone who's been known to be a crooked person, and he's being praised for his actions, you know, kind of, you know, I feel like we're all wondering the same thing. What reality are we living in? Because we all silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we're not in a good place at all. I mean, the fact that he's doing all the cryptocurrency stuff, he's using the White House to get people there for private tours if they invest in his cryptocurrency, which means paying him directly. He's getting gifts from Qatar. He's getting he's buddying up with the Saudis again and Qatar and he just said he wants to make deals with Russia after talking to Putin. He's going to abandon Ukraine and make deals with Russia to reintegrate Russia globally, but also we need to move away from Europe and move away from Canada and move away from Mexico, but we got to move towards Hungary, Russia, and Mexico. I just never thought an American president would. And also he wants to do like price controls and the terror. He's like a communist. I don't even know. It's a weird reality right now.
My thing is, where has the spine gone in America? You know, this was 10 years ago. There would have been hell to pay. No one would go for it. And the fact that it's okay now, like, come on now. We're abandoning our, our friends for our enemies. We're fucking selling out for a freaking plane. And I get it. You're going to have some people be like, oh, well, we took the Statue of Liberty. Yeah, which was a symbol. You know what I'm saying?
And Congress
How is the
voted on
plane
that
a
too.
symbol?
Congress voted on that. Trump is violating the Constitution here as well, but they don't care because the voting does matter. Democracy does matter, and because the Republican Party was so easily overtaken. And I'll be honest with you, I do think Republicans fell first to this type of thing because they really do respond to the. I hate the word racism now because it's so broken, but like it really is just like treating illegal aliens or illegal immigrants or undocumented immigrants as animals is the big thing that gave Trump a lot of power. That's the only thing he's above water on polling wise. He's like -20 with the economy now, -30 with tariffs. Like it's insane. It's only the brutal treatment of immigrants and foreigners, and the way that Trump talks about them. And I think Republicans have always been more along those lines.
Let's call it what it really is. I don't think it's racism, but what I do think it is discrimination. Is oh my gosh, what's the other word I'm thinking about? It's prejudice. You know what I'm saying? Those things are kind of deeply rooted, and like I said, we could get involved with that. Mexicans, foreigners, not just Mexicans, but foreigners, they are the backbone of this country. And now it's illegal, but now we want to accept South Africans like they're the endangered species of the world, of human species. Like, come on now. Like, again, what reality are we in?
Oh no, and Thomas Massey. I wish the Republicans were just all Thomas Massey because at least he's like principled. But Trump wants to get Thomas Massey ejected. Trump said he's going to fund a primary opponent for Massey. He wants Massey out of Congress next election. And Rand Paul, I'm pretty sure. So.
Yeah, let's get all the Republicans that have fucking backbones out of the Republican Party. Thank God John McCain isn't elected because you know what? That really would be Trump's true kryptonite.
I guess so, but I mean, the Republicans in America have, like, in totality, abandoned America. Like, the fact that they're talking about overturning the Constitution, taking away birthright citizenship, denaturalizing people. Like, one of the big things that when they always talk about, like, we need to denaturalize people. The 14th Amendment, these different amendments that give birthright citizenship, it's a dumb right. But when they talk about getting rid of birthright citizenship and they say we're going to take away citizenships and we're going to remove rights for people who are not citizens, it's a really scary trajectory. And like, I hate bringing up Nazi Germany all the time, but like Germany did find legal pathways to make Jewish people. They were not immigrants, obviously, because it was their home, but they made them illegal in their country, like illegal aliens, illegal immigrants. And that's how they were able to strip rights away from Jewish people there. So when I hear the Trump admin, they are fascists. Like the definition of fascism, trying to erode constitutional norms, eroding individual rights for all people, all human beings. And especially when he tries to denaturalize and take away citizenships, we're going down a really bad path. And usually people don't try to override the Constitution unless if they want to do really bad, especially right now. Like they say, we're being invaded, we're at wartime. Why are they sending 50 different ICE agents to go after one college girl writing an op-ed about Israel? If there's really such a big war in the streets, why are there no shootouts? And if there's terrorists in America, why can so many ICE agents go after people for their freedom of speech? It just makes no sense.
You know what? And I hate to say this because, when people try to blame color and stuff like that, I'm like, listen, let's talk about gender and freaking whatever before we get to racism, right? But how things are going, it's like I have to ask, white America, what are you guys mad about? This is what our forefathers have seen. This is what our forefathers have wanted. They wanted to change with no regression, all progression. And, I hate to bring up Mexico. The only reason I'm going to bring up Mexico is because I think Mexico, despite their problems, they're more progressive than we are. And when I say more progressive, because we have our neighbors down south who elected the first female president. We should have been on that trajectory. We are a far more developed country where we could have elected our first American president who was a female. You know what I'm saying? Again, what are we scared of? Why are we holding ourselves back? And this is coming from a true American. Forget political party and stuff like that. I'm an American. Why are we holding ourselves back? Why are we stopping from being so progressive?
It is a race thing too, man, because like the big thing in America right now, so here's the 3 different demographic elements that matter. So Number one is man. Another one's white. Another one's evangelical. Evangelical white men voted for Trump like 99%. And they have a view that America should be a Christian nation, Christian nationalism, and they will stop at nothing until they can make that an authoritarian reality. And that's what they truly believe. And a lot of it is anxiety for white men not being the dominant power anymore in the country. That's why the Great Replacement theory works so much. Like, oh, we're going to be the minority eventually as white men. There's a lot of anxiety there, and you just cannot disconnect race from any of this. And there's a reason Trump says everything's wokeism and everything's DEI. Like, Trump just calls black people woke. He just uses that for the N-word all the time. And I know not everyone sees this, but he said like Obama's library is taking too long to build in Chicago. It's because Chicago hires all those woke people to build it, and the woke people can't work hard. It's just, and he's like, oh, I could tell if they're criminals just by looking at them. And when Trump says like, oh, if Kamala wins, then you're gonna have all these immigrants invading your perfect white suburbs. They're gonna be killing and raping your daughters. And he only shares pictures of the most scary looking brown refugee immigrants ever with knives and tattoos and whatever and guns. And he sells this vision of anger and dystopia and violence and chaos, because he needs it to survive. And Americans are believing it in one of the most pampered times in American history. We live in great times. We live in the peak of human history right now. But people have nothing to do but complain and cry about everything. And Trump is seizing on that. And isolation, social isolation, it's like a big mental health crisis in America. I'd almost blame 99% of it on mental health, to be honest. I don't know about you, and you can disagree with that. I appreciate the call. I want to give you the final word. I appreciate your call, though, man.
Yeah, man, thanks.
But yeah, do you want to say anything else to wrap up?
Well, you know what? If I say anything, it's going to be kind of on the fringe. I don't know if you guys do fringe topics, but you know, we're talking about all this political stuff. You know, when are we going to talk about the biggest issue that's going on right now? What is going on with UFOs and other life and life that's out there that's possibly here? You know, Congress is taking it as a big serious deal. Why are we not, as Americans, truly listening to what's really going on? Because, again, you know, I feel like that's the biggest issue that, you know, this administration doesn't want us to focus on, like any other administration.
Or Jeffrey Epstein, right? They're hiding all the Jeffrey Epstein files because Trump's in them. Hey, no, but you're good, though. Katy Perry. We got Katy Perry up there checking out the aliens for you. We're good.
Hey, bro, I'll call again, man. I like your show, man. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Have a good night, man.
Yep.
I'm tired tonight, guys. How are you guys doing? Let's take a little break. If there's someone waiting in Discord to talk. I don't know. Is that a pun you're going to tell me right now? No taxes on tips is such a dumb policy, bro. It's such a dumb policy. It's a tax deduction, $25,000. It's such a dumb... Hey... I hate you. Dude, someone just said, what do you need in order to put a... What do you need in order to put a wild dolphin in captivity? And then he said, habeas corpus. $25,000 is dumb? Yes. For no taxes on tips? Yes, it is dumb. It is very stupid. There's no reason why a McDonald's employee getting paid $15 an hour should not get a tax cut, but someone working at a bar who does not even report their tips would get a tax cut, making the same amount of money. Like, why would someone at McDonald's, why not just give a tax cut to all working class people? You know why? Because it's a big old virtue signal. It's a political policy that only lasts 4 years. So the tax cuts for the ultra wealthy, that lasts 10 years. The taxes on tips last until the next election because it's purely for politics. Give the wealthy what they want, use that for politics. Why not give a tax cut to all working people? It's just dumb. Terrible policy. Some places make you report your tips. Yeah, I know. Does it cover, opens the door for fraud? Yeah, and the IRS is not going to be able to process it. But like, if I DoorDash, can I report my YouTube donations as tips? Like, I doubt it. Or DoorDash, like, I better be able to. I'll take this guy's calling. Wait 1 second. Here, are you trying to call in?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, are you trying to call in then?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
All right, cool.
If you're not taking
If you're
calls,
good to
it's
wait
all good.
like if you're good to wait like 3 minutes, I'm gonna go grab a drink real quick and restart my stream so that I can talk to you.
Yeah. You wait. Do you still want me to stay in the Discord?
Yeah. Stay in Discord. I'll drag you in like 5 minutes.
All right, sounds good. Bye.
Let's see. I want to redo my YouTube stream. I need a better title for that. I'll do a horizontal too. So my plan for the rest of the night, guys, it's 11:17. I'll probably open up a YouTube Shorts and also a horizontal for all the horizontal hoes out there. If you're a horizontal hoe, put your hand up. I'll open up a YouTube Shorts and horizontal because after this caller, I'm gonna do a lot of really lazy, dumb reaction content. So just so you guys know, after this call, I'm gonna do some lazy reaction content because I'm tired. Okay, for the YouTube, for the YouTube video. Is he still taking calls? I don't know. Maybe. Yes. F horizontal stream. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, I'm ending both of these streams. All right, I will be putting them back up in a minute. I'm getting some watermelon. But yeah, ending both of these streams. Refresh my channel. I'll be back up in a second. See you guys in a second. See you guys soon. See you guys soon. Come back. Please come back. Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. Baby, come back. All right. See you in a second. Refresh. How do you call? There's a phone number. Okay. I'm making new graphics for my channel too. For my stream, I need it to be cleaner. Watch my video today about Bernie being racist too. All right, guys. I'll be right back.